Every action we take, whether large or small, carries an inevitable result. Karma never overlooks anyone. Whether you perform good or bad deeds, the results of those actions will come at an appropriate time. If you unintentionally or deliberately harm someone or cause them suffering, the consequences of your actions will eventually come back to you, though not necessarily immediately, but certainly at some point in the future. This is an immutable law of the universe, and no one can escape it. In Buddhist teachings, there is a story that Gautama Buddha himself recounted while explaining the law of cause and effect, a universal law that we all must experience throughout our lives. This story is not merely a demonstration of karma, but also a reflection that helps us understand more deeply the connection between actions and their outcomes. Welcome to my channel. I am Buddha Teaching. Today I will learn more about the law of cause and effect in Buddhism. You know, in life, every action, no matter how small, creates significant effects, not only on ourselves, but also extending to those around us. Karma is the invisible thread that connects everything, a seemingly simple concept, yet profoundly deep. You might wonder how to understand this better, or why our actions can impact the distant future. If you're interested, let me share a story that Gautama Buddha used to illustrate the concept of karma and its consequences. This story not only reveals profound lessons about sowing and reaping, but also helps us grasp our responsibilities towards the world, others' lives, and our own. I believe that through this story, you'll see clearly that every action, word, and thought carries an unavoidable consequence. Are you ready to hear it? Through this narration, you won't just hear a simple story, but also gain a valuable lesson about living mindfully, about cultivating the soul, so that every moment in life becomes an opportunity for practice and the development of compassion and wisdom. This story will encourage you to reflect on yourself and understand that everything we do today contributes to shaping tomorrow's future. Once upon a time, while Gautama Buddha was seated among his disciples, imparting lessons about life, one person stood up and asked, "Master, what is karma, and how will its results come to us? Please explain, so we can understand better." The Buddha smiled gently and began to tell a story to help everyone grasp the profound principle of karma. He said, "Long ago, in a small village, there were two brothers named Jasun and Hyamus. Jasun was kind-hearted, always living with compassion and love for everyone around him. On the other hand, his younger brother Hyamus was filled with jealousy and resentment. He disliked that his brother was beloved by everyone, and this envy tainted his mind, making him constantly wish harm upon others. As time passed, their parents passed away. Jasun organized the funeral with great care and reverence. He not only took meticulous care of the funeral rites, but also invited the entire village to a memorial meal in honor of their parents. Additionally, he gave gifts to the monks and invited them to offer prayers for his parents' blessings in the afterlife. In Buddhism, filial piety towards one's parents is considered one of the highest virtues. When we serve our parents with all our love and respect, we not only benefit them, but also accumulate seeds of blessings and peace for our future. However, Hyamus did not understand this. He grew increasingly envious and bitter as he saw Jason being praised by the king and the villagers. The following year, Jason organized an even grander feast, inviting the king and treating the entire village to honor his parents and wish for their happiness in heaven. Seeing Jasun's sincere devotion, the king asked Hyamus, "Your brother has done many good deeds for your parents. Why haven't you done anything? Do you not understand your responsibilities?" Feeling humiliated before the king ignited Hyamus's jealousy and anger. Instead of facing and transforming these emotions, Hyamus chose to seek revenge. When we do not know how to confront negative emotions, we are prone to wrongful actions, which only intensify our negative karma. Hayamis decided to deceive the king by pretending that their parents had appeared in his dream and said they were unhappy in heaven. They wanted someone to cook for them, and they would only be happy if Jasun went to serve them. The king agreed, saying, "Very well, but this means Jasun will have to die to reach heaven." Jasun understood that this was a trap set by Hayamis, but with his filial piety and unconditional willingness to sacrifice, he still agreed. He thought that if this could bring happiness to his parents, he was willing to make the sacrifice. "Tomorrow," Jasun told the king, "please prepare a boat by the river. I will jump into the river and sacrifice my life to reach heaven and care for my parents." Compassion and the willingness to sacrifice for others are noble virtues in Buddhism. When we place the welfare of others above our own, we are sowing the seeds of compassion, bringing us closer to enlightenment. The next day, everything was prepared, and Jasun jumped into the river. The entire village believed that Jasun had died and ascended to heaven. Hayamis was overjoyed that his brother was finally dead, and he thought that now all the property would belong to him. Days passed, and one day, Jasun suddenly appeared at the palace, crying loudly. The guards brought him before the king. The king, astonished, asked, "What happened? How are you still alive?" Jasun recounted his story. He said that he had reached heaven, but their parents were not satisfied. They claimed that he did not know how to cook, and that Hayamis was a much better cook. They wanted Hayamis to come to heaven to serve them. Hearing this, the king immediately summoned Hayamis and said, "Now it is your turn to sacrifice yourself for your parents." Hayamis had no choice but to agree, but when the day of sacrifice came, Hayamis, overcome with fear, decided to flee. When we refuse to confront our mistakes, we often try to avoid them, but karma never overlooks anyone. While fleeing, Hayamis fought with the guards and accidentally killed one of them. The king, enraged by this, ordered Hayamis to be thrown into the river, where he drowned the next day. In the end, karma caught up with Hayamis. Even in his final moments, he continued to harbor ill intentions, which led to his own destruction. The story concludes with Gautama Buddha's teaching. The wicked never recognize right from wrong until the end of their lives. This life is for learning and reflection. Be mindful before it is too late. In the light of ancient teachings and the invisible truths of the universe, I sincerely hope that each one of us, dear viewers and companions on the journey of life, will recognize that the law of karma is not just an abstract principle, but a truth present in every small action we take. Every thought, every word, and every deed is a seed sown in the soil of life, and sooner or later, they will bear corresponding results. Therefore, I urge you all to act with understanding and awareness, planting seeds of compassion, wisdom, and love. In doing so, the outcomes will be sweet fruits, bringing peace to yourselves and everyone around you. This is the path to enlightenment and liberation, the path of those who live mindfully, aligned with the law of karma, and who understand that the future depends on the choices we make today. I am Buddhism Teaching, a channel dedicated to sharing profound Buddhist knowledge, helping you explore the depths of enlightened wisdom. Together, we will open the door to inner peace and gain a deeper understanding of life. Don't miss the opportunity to learn valuable lessons. Support the channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing to spread the beautiful values of Buddhism.